Well, it's starting to get somewhat nice out. We'll probably have another cold spell, but it's getting decent, so I'm going to start looking at this guy. This was a pain to get this off because this was all bent up. And I had to kind of really maneuver this. I've straightened it somewhat. Goes down into here. I had to maneuver this thing to get it out, and I'm going to really try to straighten this out good. I got that off. I moved the tractor over a bit. Now this one was kind of weird because one thing I noticed with this was when the deck was dropped, this thing, you could steer the steering wheel and the wheels would move, but the tractor would want to go straight. So it was like it was being lifted up off the ground by the deck or something. We'll find out. I'm going to drop the deck. That's what I'm going to do now, is remove the deck. This motor has to come out because it's leaking oil. That's why I got that underneath it. So I need to replace the seal, the bottom seal and the bottom sump gasket. The motor works fine. It runs great, but it does need to have a new seal put on it. And needs a battery. Just general maintenance after that, and I want to inspect the deck really good, make sure the deck's not damaged in any way. Sharpen the blades, all that good stuff. And get this thing ready to go. Okay, checking the oil. And it's pretty thin, very thin, and it smells like gasoline. So I am not going to run this thing. I just cleaned up the posts. They were nasty. This one was actually loose. This battery is actually good, but this thing has gasoline in the oil, so I am not going to start it or run it. This thing needs to be pulled. The carburetor needs to be done. So I will go ahead and just remove the battery and set it up on a block of wood over there. And the motor has to come out, so that's next. Alright, I'm getting ready to lift this thing up. I actually need to get a lift strap. But if you look, let's straighten the wheel. Wheel is straight. And this thing is so sloppy. The steering mechanism is broken somehow. See that wheel? Remember how I said like it wouldn't turn? When you try to turn, it would keep going straight. That wheel is pointing out, and that wheel is pretty much straight, I think. It might be slightly that way, actually. So the steering mechanism needs fixed. There's something not right with it. Yeah, so we'll have to look at that. Look at this, sloppy. So the steering is messed up. We need to fix the steering. I got all the oil drained out of this thing, made a little bit of a mess. That is what it is. But I want to get a strap to strap around to lift this up, make it easier. So, and I can't find anything like that around here, so I'm going to go ahead and hold off until I get that, and then we'll lift this thing up and remove the pulley, get this motor out of here. Alright, well, I failed to record again. I've removed the engine mount bolts. This pulley just came right off. I mean, it fell right off. This thing, none of this was rusted on because this thing's leaking so much oil. This stuff was very well oiled underneath. Don't have to worry about rust or nothing like that. But I got my straps, And I put 2 on just for safety. And I've got this thing completely unhooked. This engine is ready to come out of here. So that's what we'll do now, is get this thing out. And I need to set it upside down up here. So I got to make room for it. All right, and here she is. It's a big one. Yeah. Nice and oily. It's kind of nice out. I think tomorrow I may take this out and spray, power wash this thing tomorrow. I'll put it on maybe I'll put it over on that engine dolly, wheel it out there, and give it a good spray and put some, you know, plug off things that need to be plugged off. Give it a good cleaning. This thing's pretty nasty. Or maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this seal needs to be replaced. I got to replace this seal. I really do need to clean this thing. It is nasty. It needs to be power sprayed. So that's what I'll do. Tomorrow, it's too late today. But tomorrow this thing will go out and get power washed. Maybe I'll just set it on one of these mowers with no engines, wheel it out there. That's what I'll do. Here we go. What do you say? 22 horsepower push mower. So I'll wheel this out tomorrow and spray it, power wash it. You know, I don't want to work on no nasty, dirty motor. Getting back to working on this tractor, this Husqvarna tractor, and the front wheels exaggerated sit like this. So I'm replacing both of the control arms. And I have found it easier to just go ahead and remove this whole gear with the old arms right on it. It's just one bolt right there. So yeah, I got this here. I got my new arms in a box right here. These are adjustable, apparently, supposedly, I don't know. But I got the new arms here, a set of them. So I'll go ahead and affix them to the old plate. It's in good shape, all the teeth are good. And then we'll reaffix this thing. Okay, got the new arms on. And I may need to adjust these. Let me try to center the wheel. This is centered. And that one looks good. This one looks like it needs to adjust. I need to lengthen this a little bit maybe to straighten that out. So yeah, I think I need to take this one out a bit and lengthen it a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Okay, I've just lengthened this out just a bit here. So I'm going to rehook it up, center the wheels, and see how they look. I want them to be slightly inward. Just a slight bit, so, but not too much. Okay, I think I got it where I want it. I got the wheel centered nicely, kind of right in the middle of its play. And this one is just slightly cambered in. And this one looks pretty straight. And I can't really adjust this one anymore. So I think this is going to be good. I mean, these things before were like this. And this thing would not turn. It just plowed straight forward no matter what you did. So I believe that's going to do it. And our arms, our wheels should be good. I'm going to tighten these down now. And then we can work on the transmission. These wheels are rusted on here pretty good. And how I'm getting them off is I'm just taking my rubber hammer here. This one's almost off. Just spinning it and hitting it. It's getting there. Hit it with a little bit of PV Blaster. Pre-soak this one a little bit. Okay, I'm going to hammer it back on a little bit. And then back off. There we go. Boy, you didn't want to come off, did you? Don't lose the key. And I'll just put right rear on this one. I want to do it on the inside. That's the outside. This is the inside. No, this is the inside. That's kind of RR. Good enough. I don't need to mark the other one. I know that's the right rear. This one came right off, no problem. And you can see there's a ton of oil here. So probably why this thing quit running, it quit driving, is these seals are bad. So I'm gonna have to order a seal kit for this and replace the seals in this transmission. And just, it should be fine after that. Put some new seals in it, seal it back up, no pun intended, and then it should be okay. 1/2 inch up top. Looks like 9/16 down below. No, it's 1/2 inch. Make sure this thing's all unhooked. There's a cotter pin right here. I'm going to pull out of this little cotter pin right here so that this will drop out of here. I could maybe, nah, it'd be easier to do that. That'll free that. This has got to come down through there. And that's really it, I believe. I don't see anything else hooked to it. So I'll unhook that, and then I'm going to raise this thing down, or raise it down. I'm going to set it down. I'm going to get something to sit this on so that when I undo these, I can like lift it up and the transmission will basically be right sitting there. So let me go ahead and find something to sit this down on, like a block or something. Okay, now I have it all unbolted. And it's kind of resting down on that block of wood. And what I want to do is slowly lift it. As I know there's something else that is connected over here, but it's going to be easier to get to once I separate the two a little bit. So I want to kind of slowly raise this and watch underneath. See, it's dropping off. And yeah, I don't have any idea how that is supposed to be. Okay, I get it. There's a bolt right under here that I need to get. Let me drop it. Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one to get to too. That would have been an easier one to get to with it way up in the air. But it'll be okay, we'll get it. Okay, got the transmission out. This thing will need a good wash. Good washing. So, this has one of these quick pins, which is nice. That should have been, if I would have known that, it would have been less of a headache. I connected that back, but I connected it underneath this, so luckily this bolts off. So I'll remove this, put this back where it goes. Should go back together a lot easier. And boy, I would like to power wash this like this. Anyway, got the transmission out. This is not what I was expecting. I was expecting the kind of transmission that opens from the top. This one is two pieces that come together. So, alright, it's all good. I got the number. The number's right on here somewhere. I forget where it was, but I'll be able to order a nice seal kit for it. And we will be back in business. Boy, I really wish I could power wash underneath this. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm done for the day. That was a lot. I'm going to lower this down. I don't want to hang it like this. But I'll lower this and then we'll work on this thing. So today we got the steering fixed and we got the transmission dropped out. So we're getting there. Then we got to tackle this guy. This engine, the carburetor needs to be rebuilt. And I need to put a new seal gasket. I need to seal the bottom. And this thing will be good to go. It's a good strong motor. It runs really well. It just had a ton of gasoline in the oil, which means it was leaking right through the carb. And this thing leaked oil big time. So we're going to change the seals and the pan seal and the oil seal. Alright. Okay, back to the tractor. So I got my seal kit in the mail. I actually bought it on Amazon. I'll put the, I don't know what the part number is, but I had to contact Hydro Gear, and they gave me a parts blow up of this Transaxle, and they gave me the part number for the seal kit, and then I just went ahead on Amazon and bought it. I'll put the part number in the description because I don't know it off the top of my head. But what I'm doing is I'm building a stand so that I can stand this up and remove it upright. So I'm going to have this stand built so it'll support this. And what I'm doing right now is I just bought these bolts. I might have to go back and buy 2 more so that I can actually mount this with 4 bolts. But I took this silver paint pen and I just put some paint on the end here and went down in here and marked where I need to drill. I'm going to drill out these holes on this one, and then this is going to bolt to this. This is actually going to mount on the other side of this block. And this I've got pilot holes drilled. See, I'm going to put wood screws through here. This is going to go like that, and it'll support this sitting on this 4x4. So, and then I'm going to build a base for it. I'll build a base around this so that it'll sit up inverted, so that these bolts, the case bolts, will be pointing up so I can undo it nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these out, get this base all built up, and we'll be back. All right. Well, it's a little tall, but I can set it down and work on it. Just pull up a chair and work on this thing is what I will do. I got it mounted on here. I had to actually use some big nuts here to kind of bolt was too long. The bolts were too long, so I had to use some shimmage there. But it's resting nicely here. As you can see, resting nicely on there. And it's solid, it's strong. I got 2 good sized wood screws going through all the joints, 2 of these. Drilled pilot holes as to not stress the wood too much. So, but yeah, there you go. We got a nice stand now. I am going to set this down and I'll just pull up a chair and work on it right like that. There you go. Nice little stand. Yeah, this thing is actually perfect height for just pulling up a chair and taking my time working on this thing. It's nice and clean after power washing it. Everything should come apart easy. There you go. Nice. That's just scrap wood I had laying around. I actually had to cut those two legs kind of to size over on the bandsaw. But yeah. Okay, now we're getting ready for this transaxle here. I got the stand on the floor. I pulled up my chair so I can sit here. I just want to document this through the camera. This spring, the long end of the spring is around this guy right here. I'm going to start taking this all off, taking this all apart. This has got a push nut on it. This is the this is that release thing, the rod that releases the transmission. Lets you the neutral lets you push it. It's got a push nut on it. I think that should be able to just be kind of worked off of there. Okay. So the push nut goes on that. Okay, and stuff. What's next? Let's remove the spring. We have a cotter pin here. We'll get this cotter pin straightened out. And pardon my snuffiness, I got allergies, something terrible. There we go. Got the cotter pin out. Interesting. Just going to swing this out and put this back on here. If I don't quit dropping it. Okay, now I can actually remove these 2 bolts and these brackets here. This is you know what, I'm gonna hold off on getting those out of here. I'll go ahead and take that guy right there off now. It was not really tight at all. Okay, I had a washer on there. It's not cupped. So that is that. That is kind of around there. I think we can just take these off, and this will be this bracket here. Looks like this is the brake. That's exactly what this is the brake shoe or something. Okay. let's go ahead and take these two off. This should release the brake bracket. Yeah, it's got a lot of tension on it right there. There it goes. There we are. So you got this spacer that goes through this spring here and down through that. Okay. There we go. Yeah, it's little brake shoes here. Little brake pad. Brake pad. This goes on the spline gear, and it's got a brake pad on the bottom. It looks like it's just a fixed, just sets in there. So it's our rotor, our disc brake rotor, which is kind of cool. With the little brake pad that goes underneath it. So you have a brake pad on top, brake pad on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to put our little washer here with the crown nut. Put that in the box. Okay. Now this bracket right here looks like it's got this Allen head holding it. This is a Torx bit, which this probably will just come off with this. Of course, that's not the right size. Boy, that don't want to turn. Is that not supposed to come out of there? What's this all about? And it broke. So that nut broke. So I'll have to dig it out of there. I don't know why that was locked in there. So anyway, yeah, it goes like that. This I'll have to remove. Probably have to heat that up or whatever. We'll get that. Whatever. I don't know why that was. We'll once we get this shaft out of here, I'll just put some heat to it and I'll be able to get that out. Okay, this is an Allen head. There we go. Okay. There's a couple washers, big washers underneath there. Sitting on a couple of big washers and going through. Like so. It's got Loctite on it. It's probably why this one broke. It's probably Loctited in there. Now we should be able to, I'll put this in the box just like this. It's got the two big washers that go underneath. Okay. Now we should be able to remove all of the bolts holding the top cover on. So I will get that. And hopefully try this little guy. Okay. There's these two, and I'm just going to keep these two in there like so. Put this in the box. They go here and here. Remove all of these. Make sure they're probably all the same size. They look to be all the same size. Yep, all the same size. So now I got this one Torx bit here. It's like a Torx, reverse Torx. It's like a Torx socket. And that thing in the center is not deep enough to actually put a Torx bit. So it's like I need a Torx socket to go over that and turn it. So I want to get the right tool. So I'll be back. Okay, actually an 8mm socket fits nicely over this. Yeah, I'll just keep that right in there. And that's it for this. I kind of want to just go around with my, you know what I should do is I should remove this fan. Let's do that. I've got it loosened a little bit, but it's so rusty. I'm going to spray a little bit of penetrating oil on there. Let's see if we can't get this thing off of here. Try to hold this maybe a little. There we go. There we go. Okay, there's no C-clip at all or anything like that. It was just the nut on there. And pulley just comes right off the spline. So you got pulley, fan, and nut. All in good shape. Okay. So we got our fan off. I wanted to get that off before it got broken or anything like that. So now I want to try to get this cover off. And I want to try to just tap around on it with my I gotta take it easy on this thing. It's a nice, easy aluminum case. I don't want to, I don't want to break it. Just keep tapping. Oh shoot, it's going to leak oil everywhere. It's starting to come apart. And she's going to leak oil everywhere. I better get something underneath it. It's coming apart, but it's full of oil. which I don't see where to drain it. Is there a drain on here somewhere? Okay, I take it, because this is the top of this thing. Here's the fan. This has to be the fill plug, which I've got removed here. It's got an O-ring on it. So that's probably the fill plug. I don't think there is a drain plug on this thing. So I am just basically emptying this thing to this level so that I can remove the top of this. It should come right off. I'm going to go ahead and let this drain. Then we'll be back once it's empty. And this thing should come apart pretty easily now, as I had the seal broken. Alright, we're down to a drip. And there's definitely a swirl of silver there. So it's definitely worn and definitely needs to be inspected. We'll check the gears out really good. And hopefully it's just some normal wear and nothing too serious to deal with, and a nice cleaning, resealing, and some new oil and hopefully that's all that we'll need to do to it. But we'll take a look at it for sure. We'll look at all the gearing and everything and make that decision. But yeah, it's definitely got some wear to it. I'm going to let it continue to drip out a little bit. No hurry. Okay, and here is a peek inside. There's a washer on top of here. It's full of oil, as you can see. I may have to unbolt. Well, I don't want to just dump this thing over because everything will fall out. I'm going to have to take this thing apart piece by piece, and I'll probably put stuff in plastic bags as I do it. Here's this part. That gear looks okay. This thing right here actuates that thing. It goes right down in this little vat right here. It actuates that. This is this. So we'll set that there. Get to that later. But yeah, I'm going to take all these gears out. I'm going to put some gloves on. Take all of these gears out. I'm going to get a bunch of plastic bags. And as I take these out, I'm going to bag them. And then once I get all the gearing out of it, and the pump and all of that, then I will undo this and dump all this oil out of it. Okay. First things first, let's get this out of here. It looks like it can probably go in either way. There we go. Okay. Mess. But it looks good. I don't really see any damage on the gears or anything like that. Put that down in there. Now the big ring gear. And it looks fine. I don't see any worn gearing on it. I don't see anything worn out, which is good. This stuff will all be thoroughly washed. But that gear looks fine. Okay, now this washer and this gear. So this goes here, and this washer and this little gear here goes like so. Just like that. So we'll put these three pieces together. Okay. Oops. Okay. What's next? What do we got here? Well, that shaft just pulls right out of there. And it's got this washer. So this, with this gear, so it's got a washer on both ends of it. Goes down into here. Anyway, yeah, like that. This is probably going to have to be. How does this come out of here? Looks like we had another washer on the bottom side of this little sprocket gear. There was one sitting down here, I believe. This kind of needs to be emptied. And I'm going to figure out how this shaft comes out here. I don't know if that just is pressed into here or what. I know that there are some I know that there is a video on YouTube about how this goes together, so I might have to reference that and figure out how this pump comes out. The pump and this motor here. There's two bolts. These two bolts I know hold it in. Yeah, let me get back to it. I'm going to check out a video and then I'll get back to it. Okay, yep, there was just a C-clip holding that whole thing in. So yeah, I got my C-clip, my clip things here, and then that kind of popped out. It did not come out easily, but I got it out. And it's draining now. So I'll let that drain down. And once that drains to a certain amount, I'm going to remove these two bolts. And this bottom part of the motor can come out. Yeah. And then we'll remove the pump. Okay, just removed these two bolts with the impact, and these guys they're in there. So they're probably red Loctited. And that'll allow that to come out. So I think I'll get my gloves back on. A couple bags ready. Put a new set of gloves on. I put that input shaft in a bag. Had a little spring on it. It has a spring on that input shaft as well. Let me empty this oil into here. Okay. All right. And we'll see if we can't get this out of here. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on from this. Okay. This is like stuck on here. There we go. Okay, that's the pump and the filter here. And then you got that with, so we'll put this pump along with or whichever one is the pump and which one's the motor, I don't know. Put the two big bolts along with this in a bag. And then this guy can come out. Okay. That just popped out of there. And these things came out of that. And they came out like this. This bearing here and the washer up in there. And we also have another one of these, and it's probably, yeah, all the springs, and this one's down in the bottom. I need to get more bags. Okay. Digging in the oil. These are the pistons and the stuff that goes down in the very bottom. And then this is all down in the very bottom. Another bearing. Yeah, it's another set of that crap down in there, down in the very bottom. So yeah, just like that, but upside down. So I'm going to set that here. We'll let that sit in this. And I have got to wash my hands. I need to drain this out, and I'll be back. Okay, everything is out. So I've got this dumped upside down just to empty it out very good. I got everything labeled. Now the piston, spring, and cylinder, there's two of them, and they look alike. They may be identical, I don't know. But what I did was I named the bags for one of them. This one I named down in the bottom. I think that's the motor pump. So that one goes face down in this case. This one here is the pump for the input shaft. So that's how I know what's what. But we're going to go ahead and drain this out really good. And I am going to remove both of the axles at eventually, because I do want to replace the seals, so I want to just replace everything. And why not? We're this far. So yeah. Okay. Excellent. I'm going to let this sit here and drain for an hour or two and just kind of forget about it. I got to go wash up, and we'll be back. Yeah, I'm working on removing the seals, and I want to remove the axles. So I took my wire wheel here. Always wear your eye protection. You get these little barbs just flying everywhere. So, and I went and just wire wheeled this very well. This has a snap ring. This is the seal cover, and a snap ring is inside of here. You need a set of snap ring pliers. So I removed the snap ring, and I've been kind of trying to dig at that, and I'm not getting anywhere with it. So I just decided I'm going to remove the axle, and hopefully it'll come out easy after. Somewhat easy. I don't know, I'm going to have to let go of the camera, put the camera down, and mess with this. Okay, I got the axle out, and I didn't like how I had to do it, but it was just to a point where it got stuck. So I just took this little hammer and I lightly tapped on it until it came through. It had like a little point where it just got tight, and then it was done and it came through. Just make sure that it's nice and clean and wire wheeled. Get all of the rust off of it. Make it as smooth as possible. And pop it through there. And then the seal is easy to get out after that. I just took my little 90-degree pick tool, got under it, and popped it right out. No problem. So there you go. That's how to do those seals. And this thing looks okay, looks good. Should not be a problem. So that's that axle. And this stuff will all be totally cleaned up and made new again. There's a seal I'll have to pop and replace. Here's a seal. And I do have the seal kit, so yeah, I will do the one on the bottom there. What I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to take and I'm going to lay this down and get to this, wire wheel it nicely, and then I'll just pop it through like I did the other one, and I'll be able to replace them seals. Just make sure to get all of the rust off of this, and make sure that this, I actually took a file and I filed this a little bit to flatten this, because I'm sure that over years of use this can get a little bit of a lip on it. So I took and I filed this, filed it flat, and then wire wheeled it. And I'm going to do the same to the other one. I'm going to take my file and clean this down, this keyway, and then wire wheel it really good, because I don't want to wreck this housing. So that's the idea. All right. Okay, so I have got the snap ring out of where the seal is. I removed the snap ring. Now I'm going to prep this axle to be removed. And what I want to do is just take my file and file this keyway down. Just kind of file the keyway flat. Get any burrs off of it. Right? Just like that. And now I'm going to get the wire wheel and clean it. And I've got my eye protection. I've got my eye goggles. All right. I'm just going to go and there you go. No harm. Put this up. And this one is longer than the other one, so you can't put them in the wrong way. Pop it right out. And there you go. Now we have, and I'll clean this up. This will all be cleaned really good. And I can replace my seal. This will be cleaned. It's going to leak a little bit out of there. There you go. And here, just because I like keeping things the way they went, I have long axle side, all the hardware, everything, and short axle side. So it'll go into my bag of parts, and I got to start cleaning everything. Okay, I am cleaning and inspecting these pistons, and these are all dirty. Now, inside these pistons, there's a little disc. Oops. And the thing is they don't really come out too well. But it's a good place down in there to hold a lot of grime and grit and nastiness. Two of these, I put these all through the sonic cleaner. I'm cleaning everything with my sonic cleaner and then inspecting it, drying it, cleaning it, and inspecting it. So far, my, the barrels, they all look really good. Now, next thing I'm going to clean is the housing, or the two parts that the barrels go into. They mate with, and those have to be checked and make sure that they're in good shape as well. But I use a little magnet on a stick, and you can grab these things out of here. See that? and they just hold a ton of grime. So it's good to remove those and clean them. Clean inside there with a Q-tip, clean this, wipe everything off really good, and then move forward, because yeah, it's just a bunch of nastiness gets stuck into there. So it's good to get rid of that. I am simply using dish soap, Dawn dish soap, and water, hot water. Yeah, Dawn dish soap and hot water. And that was that. Remember that bolt broke off? There was enough left over that I could clamp onto. Heated it up, and it twisted right off. No problem. I am going to re-tap this with that thread, and I'll buy a new bolt that is 3/4 long, and it'll be good to go. But yeah, I am definitely going to re-tap this before I put another bolt down into it. Okay, I just got done cleaning this piece, the center piece. It's got the filter on it. This is my problem right here. This side isn't so bad right here. And this is, it goes upside down like this. And this part here goes down towards the bottom. And this is the input part. And the input part is chewed up, kind of. It's got a lot of grooving. A lot of damage and grooving. That's actually, you can actually feel with your fingernail. It's very rigid and grooved. A little, you know, got chunks out of it over here. Yeah, this thing is bad. I'm gonna have to find out how much one of these is, because this, I am afraid, is gonna have to be replaced. I mean, could I resurface this? I could try. Let's find out how much a new one of these costs, because this is definitely the problem of why this tractor will start off running fine, and then all of a sudden it just quits. It slowly slows down, and then it stops. And this is why. This thing right here, this piece. So, yeah. Let's find out how much one of these is. And it's probably expensive. It's probably damn expensive. But yeah, I don't like the prospects of flattening and surfacing this either, because this is in the way. I can't set this flat on a block, you see, because this is sticking higher than this. I'm going to end up just replacing this part, I think. So I'll find out how much one is. After really blowing up my pictures and looking at this, this looks like it might even have some hairline cracks in it. Yeah, so that's definitely the problem. This guy is dead. And here on Amazon, we have the Hydro Gear Kit Center Section part number 70477. That is my part number. And I actually purchased this already. And I purchased it for $75. And this one says $82. So I bought this. It cost me $75 plus $5 to ship it. So $80. I've got the center section on the way. And we will pick back up when it gets here. Excuse me. In the meantime, I will just continue getting everything cleaned up and ready to go. Hydro Gear part 70477, center section. And by the way, this is my seal kit. Another Amazon purchase. The seal kit is part number 70463 for this particular hydro gear transaxle. 33 bucks. Seal kit. Okay, I have cleaned off my granite block and I put down a wet dry sheet here. This is 1500 grit. I'm not doing steps, I'm just starting with the highest because these look good to the eye. They're not bad. I just want to make sure they have an absolute smooth finish. So I'm going to give them a little bit on this 1500 grit with some WD. And just kind of work them and make sure that they are absolutely flat. Yeah, it looks good. I don't see any high spots or anything like that. Just a little bit more and then we'll call it good with this one. Yeah, that's beautiful. There's like no marks, no nothing on there. I see no high spots, no low spots. So that's good for that one. These are going to have to be re-sonically cleaned, by the way. Okay, now this is the one that goes in the bottom of the case, and I'm just going to put like a B on this with a permanent marker right there, so that I do want to keep them separate. Okay, and this here is the one that was mated against that part that was really bad on the center section, and it is micro grooved. I mean, it's not terribly noticeable. Nothing like to the naked eye that's really terrible. But I bet if I looked at this under my microscope, I would see lots of little grooves. So we're going to work this one a little bit better than the other one. A little bit longer. It's not bad. It's actually looks pretty good. So, but we'll go ahead and flatten it nicely. And where goes my... Oh, I must have thrown it out. It's really hard to... I can't really tell. Can't tell. My eyes are not keen enough to see any spots, but I see some scratches and stuff when I get it in the right light. Let's see if I can just get it in that right light again and take a look. Yeah, it's really cleaning up. Cleaning up nicely. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, and to my fingernail now, it is completely flat. Whereas I could feel little micro grooves before. I do not feel them now at all. It feels completely flat. And that's what I want. All right. I'm going to call that good. That really flattened that out nicely. Cleaned it up. I think I will go look at this under the microscope really quick though, just to verify. Probably look at both of them. Yeah, and then go from there. I think we're looking pretty good though. Okay, when I looked under the microscope at this one, and this is the one that made it up against the really damaged part of the center piece, I see a little microscopic groove between these two channels, and it almost goes all the way through. So I think that will be a problem. So what I want to do is get a little more aggressive on this. I'm going to have to put like my 180 down and do the 180, and then come back with the 1500 to finish it. But I've got to get that little groove out. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have to remove this. Okay, I got my 180 taped down. And this is going to be much more aggressive, because I really need to remove some material. Just a tiny bit. Kind of take a look at that. I don't have my glasses on. What I'm going to have to do is go check this out in the microscope, look between these, and make sure, I just want to make sure that that is removed. That little microscopic kind of channel almost goes between, and that would cause a problem, so I need to get that out. Okay, good news. That channel is 100% gone. I'm just going to lightly now, just kind of very lightly move this across this paper to just kind of light sand it before going to the 1500 grit. There. Now I'll go ahead and go to the 1500 grit to finish it off. Okay, I've got 1500 grit back on here and just finishing this thing up. Okay, I think I'm going to go take a look at it under the scope. See how she looks. Okay, yeah, and by the way, it is important to keep your parts oiled. So after they're washed, dried, I put them in a bag of oil. Fresh, clean oil. I did not wash these. These are the two bearings but everything else has been oiled. Well, I just oiled the cylinders after I resurfaced them, cleaned them in the sonic cleaner, dried them, and then I re-oiled them. And I just put my bagged oil parts in here so that it doesn't leak all over the place. So this one just doesn't seem to be leaking, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, as I clean stuff, it's getting oiled. It's getting put in an oily environment to keep it from rusting. Just what you should do. So, just got done cleaning this little group of parts. Little sprocket gear, a couple washers, and this big, well, not biggest gear, but another one of the gears. The idea behind sonically cleaning all of these and then just kind of re-oiling them, storing them in an oily bag here. Remember when I first opened up my Transaxle, all the kind of silver streaking throughout the whole thing? There's a lot of silver streaking. That's metal. So the idea is I have to clean with the sonic cleaner because I want all of that metal off of these parts. So I've cleaned them in the cleaner, dried them, and now I'm just soaking them in fresh oil. That's all. And then putting them away and waiting, until I get all of my parts together and I can actually put it together. I got one more gear to clean, the big main gear, the differential gear, if you will. I got that to clean, and then I'll be done cleaning parts. Okay, sitting down here, I just cleaned this really well. It needs to really dry. And that's pretty greasy right there. So there's still some grease pockets in there that I gotta get. I didn't use the sonic cleaner, which might not be a bad idea to set this upside down, put this flat in the sonic cleaner to clean all this crap out of here. But first thing I want to do is kind of scrape some of this old gasket material off very lightly with a blade. Just very lightly. I need my glasses. Gasket material. And a lot of it's going to fall down in there. And I don't really care about that because I'm going to clean it again. Okay, well, we're going to speed this process up. I'm going to use this bit. I don't remember what these are called, but I use this on like even aluminum cylinder heads and blocks and stuff like that to clean them. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Okay, and I want to just kind of use the blade to go around the screw holes and get some of this out. I'm going to call that good. So we'll take you around here. Just some superficial scratches there. Maybe I'll go back over that, buff those out. But other than that, looks really good. I'm going to buff those back out right there. And this thing will have to be cleaned again. I think I will put this upside down in my sonic cleaner. It'll clean most of it. Cleaning these little pockets where this nasty grease is at. Down in there, trapped. Just nastiness that's trapped. I want to get that out of there. So, okay, this side is done. Very well. Put one of the axles in, and I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but the grease just kind of lifts off. I'm actually using simple green with hot water here, and this doesn't fit great, but I can like maneuver it. Like I can put this side that way now for the next 8 minutes or whatever, so I can kind of maneuver it around. Yeah, we'll get it cleaned up. Okay, I got it back on here. I think it looks pretty darn good and clean. Just needs to air dry really well, and then I'll go through and make sure, blow it out again. Got all the trapped nastiness out of all those little areas, and then down in here there was some trapped nastiness. Got that all out. Sealing surface is cleaned. Everything's good to go. I'm going to put a plastic grocery bag over top of this, and that'll be good to go. And then we have our axles over here. I just cleaned both of them really well. And get them out. Those will go in a grocery bag, and I need to oil those. So I'm going to do that, get them oiled. These are the bushings for that go in the axle housing. They go in the very bottom of the axle housing. These are both in really good shape. They fit right down into here. And they're both in good shape, not scored up or nothing. So that's good. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, get these axles out, rinse them off really good. Oil them, put them in kind of big grocery bags, and that'll be it for today. The next thing I got to tackle is the other case half, which is in this box over here. And it's got quite a bit of that. It's got the majority of the sealant on it. This one will be easier to clean, at least it's not as big. And yeah, so that'll be that. I'll probably hook that up, probably bolt it to here or something so that it's upright and I can get at it easy. I don't know, I'll figure something out. Take care of the axles, and that'll be it for today. Okay, axles are both clean. I took some 1500 grit and just kind of went over this section here on both of them. Smooth it out. These are both clean and reassembled. I'm going to oil them and put them into just big grocery bags. Set them over with the rest of the parts. Just actually using a garbage bag, just a kitchen garbage bag. I'm going to put both of them down in there. And got them both in here. I'm just going to put some oil over them. should be good. Yeah, that's quite oily, so okay, axle's done. Now the only thing that's left to do is wait for that. Oh, my wheel bearings. You know what, I'll put those in a like this with a little bit of oil. Okay. There's those wheel bearings, and then we'll be ready to reassemble this thing. This thing will be as if brand new. Okay, I removed the this is the oil expansion tank. It's like an overflow, I believe. So yeah, I removed that. It's hooked right here. It's just got this one little screw right there keeping it in that bracket. Removed that and drained it, and it had this nastiness in it, you know, that gray colored junk was in that. So yeah, it's a good thing to get that cleaned out. I swapped the small side of the transaxle onto my stand so that I can work on it. I'm going to do that here in a bit, get that cleaned all up. And now that I've got this nice and clean, I'd like to clean that out. Maybe I'll do a little hot water in there, and maybe some simple green and hot water. I'd like to get that cleaned out. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and work on that part. And I got my ultra black gasket maker. Putting this back together. So yeah. Alright. Okay, I've washed this tank out as good as I could. There was a lot of old metally laden oil in this thing. And I think I flushed most of that out. I have, from my seal kit, the new O-ring that goes right there I'm going to put in. So I need, you know what I think will be good to get that out, are tweezers. Well, I can use this. This is a like a dental tool. Use that and kind of pick it off. There we go. And we'll replace that guy. It's 20 years old. We might as well put a new one on, right? We'll slide it right up and on. Just like that. Now this tube goes in here. And this goes like so. There's that. And this O-ring is still, it's good, it's pliable, it's not hard. But we got a new one in the kit. Let's use it. And I'm going to put this back here. We got the expansion. The oil expansion has been taken care of. Got that good and cleaned out. New O-ring. Good to go. So now I want to work on this other half, this half right here, and I'm not going to bore you with all that. I'm just going to go ahead and do it, clean it up, and then come back. And this concludes the cleanup of the Transaxle. Just how beautiful this is. Nice and clean. I removed these seals. There was a lot of trapped nastiness underneath these seals. Got it all cleaned out with the sonic cleaner. Ready to be reinstalled, resealed. Looking good. So yeah, now we move to reassembly. I am going to start the reassembly process. I don't have the center section yet, but I can start assembling this axle. I've got my wheel bushings. I'll take one of them and it gets inserted here, just like so. Okay, I'll put the other one back. I definitely don't want to put the seal in right now, because when I do put the seal in, I want to put some masking tape around the key area so that it doesn't cut the seal. And I don't think if I put the masking tape on, it's not going to go through this bushing. So I believe it's probably best to leave that out for the time being. Put the axle down and then put this over the axle and then put it in place. Yeah, that's how I want to do it. Let's put this back in the bag. I need to look at the parts diagrams. I think I have this backwards. I believe this washer goes up against this. So I think I have this washer on wrong. I believe it should go up here. Okay, yeah, after consulting the parts diagram, the washer goes up against the gear. So I have that backwards. It goes like this. Okay. And then this goes down into here. Okay. Just like that. And now we got that there. I need to put the bushing up. And I kind of want to lay this down to do that. Dang it. That was tight. We got it. Bushing goes on there. Now the seal goes in next. Okay, well, as you can see, I just put masking tape around here and was able to put the seal up over that to where it's started in the housing, and I just need now to finish it. So how am I going to finish that? Okay, I got the new seal and the snap ring and the new snap ring. New seal. So now I'll just put this cover over it with 2 hands, and then this side will be done. Okay, now I got the smaller end on the stand, and I'm going to repeat the process for that. Put that down in there. Like so. It's going to have its little bit of resistance here, like the other one. It's a lot bit of resistance actually. Okay, I just used a screwdriver and just kind of gently tapped on it like that, and that popped it up on there. So just had a little bit of a spot there, and it goes right in there nicely. Now the next thing, I got to wipe this off a bit, put some tape over this, and put the new seal on up in there. Come on, tear straight please. Okay. That is really it. Just enough to cover up that key. Just kind of oil the seal a bit. Hold the input. Just kind of work that over it. Just like that. Kind of get it straight and started. Oops. Okay, now I can remove the tape. That's just so that you don't cut the seal on that keyway. Okay, well, I've got this breaker bar that I actually use. I keep it in the back of my vehicle in case I have a flat tire. I got some leverage to undo the lug nuts. This fits perfectly on the seal's perimeter. So what I'm going to do is, on my bandsaw, I'm going to cut about this much of this off, and I'm going to use this to hammer that seal into place. And here's what I come up with. I just ground this flat, sanded it, wire wheeled it and sanded it. I think that's a good bearing seal installing tool. This thing wants to move all over the place, doesn't it? It's going on. It's just this is so unstable. And this isn't even tight. You know what? This might be easier if I were to set this upside down. It's going to be dirty. I'll have to clean it again, but whatever. Okay. this way. I think that's got it pretty good. Okay, let's see if we can get this snap ring installed. It's the new one. Ah, come on. There we go. And it's in. Okay, and here's both of the axles installed. So now we are just waiting on that one center piece. Well, it has arrived. My genuine hydro gear part. So here is the new whatchamacallit. And look how beautiful it looks. But it does not come with this part. So I've actually got to remove this and put it onto this one. I got to transfer this piece over to this guy. And yeah, so I've already tried removing this, and it's just breaking these off of here. But I've got no choice but to try to get this off of here. So maybe I can heat it up a little bit, put a little hot air to it. Maybe it'll make it a little more pliable. So I'll try that. Heat these little nubs up a little bit so that maybe I can get this off of here without this breaking. So that's what I'll try. The new one was going to come with a new filter and all of that on there, and it doesn't. So we shall try this. Oh boy, that smells lovely. It does make it more pliable. And it worked for that one. Oh boy, that kind of squished that, didn't it? Well, but I am going to buy this. This is everything else that I need. Now, they do sell a kit that has the center section and this all together. This part number right here for just what I need now is 70756 from Hydro Gear. Now, if you want to buy the center section with this already installed as a whole kit, that is 70759 right here, 70759. That's the kit with the center section and the filter assembly already installed. It's a little more expensive. I'm actually going to be saving about $25 by doing just by buying them separate. So that's worth it to me. So I am just going to buy the 70756 now and go ahead and replace this because I want the base of this thing to hold that filter in good. Those barbed contacts are kind of jacked up on mine, so I'm just going to replace it. I could just transfer this over to mine. Now I don't know if this has the mounting hardware, but I don't need that because I'm taking that off of the old center section and putting it on here. So this is for if you're just transferring a new one onto the old one, but if you need the whole thing, buy the 70759 kit. It comes, I'm assuming, assembled with this filter kit on the center section. So, but if you want to do it separate, you can save about $20 or $25. So this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and order this part. It'll be here. I think I'll pay the shipping to get it here on Tuesday. Today is Sunday, so that I can get this thing together. Okay, I'm disassembling the old center section. You got these two assemblies in there with the ball valves, and this just comes off. Okay, what I was after is these little ball valve things. So I got my new filter assembly and the new center section. It goes like that. New center section. Uh-oh. And then these just get tightened down into here. Give it a good snugging. That's all it needs is a good snugging. There we go. New center section thing. Now this goes like so. We got the spring, this, and then this goes on that. And then you got to just snap it through here, maybe. Okay, I just basically went with my channel locks around this thing like this and clamped it down. So I guess that's just how you do it, is you just got to kind of brute force it. Like I said, I took this thing and went around each one of these and just clamp. You know, clamp, boom. Right here, clamp. And then I had to make this bigger and go between here and here, and got it clamped down. So there you go. The center section is assembled. now it's time to install. Put the old center section in this bag. 'Tis garbage. Okay, yeah. I'm going to give this a little bit of a clean up. And we can start installing. Okay, so I have assembled the piston and cylinder assembly, and remembering to put those thrust washers, remember the ones that we cleaned all the gunk off of, you got to remember to put those back in, and then just make sure that the pistons are moving freely. Okay, now what I'm going to do to make this easier is I'm going to lay this down. So now it'll be easier to put this stuff in. I've got the races and the bearings here, and the fatter race needs to go towards the pistons. I put this in the bottom, and this will probably be easier to do with it up. Put this bearing down in there, and then this race goes on top of that. Okay. And I think what I'll do is, number one, I'll bring this down here. Let's stand this up and kind of do this. Okay, now I want to take my piston assembly and try to slide it in like that. So it is in there as it should be. You can see I've got that piston assembly down in there now. Just kind of make sure that it is still as it should be. Okay, good. Now we can put our center section down in there. Like so. Okay, I'm going to go get something to zip these down. Then I want to get this shaft that goes in here and make sure it lines up. Now what I need to do, need to be able to see down in there. I'm going to go get a flashlight. Okay. That is now in. And I want to go ahead and tighten these down. Okay, it's to the point now where I need to torque it. And you can still spin it. So it is engaged, it is where it should be, so that's good to go. Okay, I have the torque wrench set to 42 foot-pounds. Now let's see if we can do this right here. There's a click. And there's a click. So we are set. And you can still move this gear. You got a washer underneath, a washer on top. And you can't put them the wrong way. The washer that goes on the bottom is a wider diameter. So that is torqued in. Very good. Okay, just back from the hardware store. And I matched up my bolt. They did not have a flange head, so I just got this. I'm sure it should be fine. Nice thick washer on there. Grade 8 bolt. And I got a tap, the matching tap. It is a 5/16 24 thread. So I'm going to tap the part that goes into. Tap it, clean it. I got my bolt. I'm going to use blue Loctite on this bolt. That'll lock it in, but I don't want it to be as crazy to get off as this was. So, yeah. There. Now I've gotten my replacement. Okay, I'm putting together the motor cylinder. The pump cylinder, I don't know. I think it's the pump. Wide side goes down on these springs. Okay. Here's this large race, which actually I'm just going to leave in the oil. Okay. I'll grab one of these and grab one of the discs. Little thrust washer that goes in it, drop in it. And then just like that. There you go. And we got this race. The bearing is, where did I put the bearing? Right here. And some clean oil to clean it. So the bearing goes down first. And then the race, the thick race. And then this goes in that. Like that. Up against that. And then this goes down in there. And this just requires some brute strength, really, to go down into here. There we go. Almost. There we go. There we go. Now it's in there. My hands are a mess. Okay, we're going to try to insert this input shaft into here. We got our retaining spring, or retaining washer and spring on here. And I'm just going to try to guide this in. Uh-oh. There we go. It's in. Okay. I believe I got the seal here. Let's put a little oil around the inside of it here. Okay. There we go. And now I will put a new snap ring in. New snap ring. I gotta go grab my snap ring pliers. Okay. Try to get down here nicely. Oh. Boy, these things are cheapies. Alright, there was a washer that went underneath the seal that I forgot. So I had to remove that clip again, remove the seal, remove everything basically. Put that washer in and put it back together, and I just did that off camera because I was pretty frustrated. But this part is assembled. So now we just got some gears and oil and stuff, and that's going to be about it. Okay, couple parts here. Well, we have our actuator with magnet. Goes right down here, just like that. Now I know I washed this, but goodness. There we go. It goes right down into this little slot. And then up against that little nub that's in the filter assembly. Just like that. Okay. We have our locating post here, which just goes right here. That's that. We got two washers. One there, one here. And then this. You know, it's probably going to be easier. Probably easier to do this. Like that. That's that. Now we got the big gear. Nice clean gears. Oops, wrong way. There we go. That is it. Now the top goes on. The seals, the few seals that are left go on. And we'll clean this all up and seal it. It looks wonderful. Okay, so I got my oil. 20W50 synthetic. This thing holds 76.3 ounces of oil. So we're going to put the first 32 ounces in right now. This is up to the 64th ounce. I got the bolts, the mounting bolts, I got them in the cleaner right now. is I want to get them sonically cleaned. I'm going to use blue Loctite on these bolts. So I'm going to clean really well in here. Actually, I'm going to use my lacquer thinner to go around the outside. This will remove any oil, grease, dirt, whatever. Okay, I've got both surfaces cleaned. I'm going to go ahead and put my bead of RTV black around. All right. That is applied. Now we'll go ahead and put the cases together. Okay, here we go. Put this together. Now I want to just kind of set this on here and kind of maneuver this until it locks. There we go. Set it on down on there. Now I'm going to, my cleaned bolts, I'm going to put just a touch of this blue Loctite on there. Just a touch. Okay. I'm going to put this on the lightest, just in case I do. Yeah. Boom. Now I'm just going to go in a circular motion, or not circular, but just this one. Get it open. Jesus. I know that this one clicked. Okay. Now, I am going to let this just sit and cure for probably 36 hours or something like that before I mess with it. So I will put these seals, I'll put the seals on it. The remaining seals, there's 3 more seals. And then I'm just going to let this thing sit and cure just like this. So I'll see you in a couple days. Here it is, fully assembled. There's my new bolt. I did tap that. Got a new grade 8 bolt installed. See that moving down there? Differential. So yeah, it's all assembled, it's done. I had a few drips coming out of here. I did not tighten this plug, so I had a couple drips. I tightened that up. Now I'm going to let this thing sit for about 36 hours, and then we'll fill it. Install it. We'll fill it up and install it. Okay, since that I have to wait for the parts for that transmission, which is only a few days, I want to go ahead and get this engine squared away. Remember, this thing was leaking oil something fierce. It may have just been this. I'm not sure, but we're going to just go ahead and just put a new seal in it, put a new crank seal in it and everything, and just renew it. I've got all the bolts out. I've unhooked the governor lever, so we should be able to just pop this thing off now. I think we're ready to, I think it's ready to come off. The, whatchamacallit, the pump shaft fell down in there, which is no big deal. We'll get that. I'm trying to figure out where I can set this. Let's set it down here, I guess, for now. Of course, this light doesn't work. There we go. Yeah, it fell down there. I'm gonna see if I can't get that out of there. Be right back. It looks good though. Look, it looks really good in here. Yeah, there it is, right there. Okay, yeah, I'll just get a magnet on a stick and pull that out of there. Can't see very well. And I got something in my foot. There we go. There it is. That's the shaft for the oil pump. Okay. So we got some gasket to scrape. We'll have to put a new... this has got some crap in there too. Just a little bit. A little bit of gasket material here. Okay, we'll have to scrape that all off. All right. I need a rubber band to tie this thing back out of the way. Okay, I got this surface cleaned off pretty good. I might be able to get the rest of this stuff off. Yeah. Anyway, I had to remove the camshaft because some junk fell down in there underneath it. So I had to remove the cam, and in doing so, one of the push rods came off of this lifter. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to check the valves on both of these, because I know at least this one has to be open, so I might as well open both of them. Make sure that the push rods are seated and stuff. That's a risk when removing the cam, and these things, they come down and then the lifters fall off of them, or the push rods fall off of them. So I'm going to have to reset the push rods. No big deal. This side is ready to go. And now we are ready to, I got to clean the bottom, put a new seal in it, and we'll be able to close this thing back up. The sump actually had quite a bit of junk down in it. Had quite a bit of crap down in here. So I went ahead and power washed it. Removed the seal. Removed the pump, the oil pump. And there was a lot of crap down in here as well. Some kind of dirt and junk. So I cleaned that all out. Made sure these passages were clear. There's one there, and then there's one over down here. Down there. Sprayed carb cleaner through those, made sure they were clear. So that's good. I'm going to make sure this is good and tight here. I'll probably even put some thread sealant on this and put it in there. I would actually like to get a longer hose for this, to be honest. Drain hose. That comes out a little bit. I'm going to look into that. I might just replace this with a longer version of this. Yeah. Well, there. I'll oil this before I put it back together. I got a new seal I'll put in. I got a piece of the old gasket because I want to put my micrometer on this. I would just want to make sure I have the same thickness of gasket going back on for end play. So that's that. Those are the bolts for the sump. I'm cleaning those, and I'll be using blue Loctite on those. I actually need to clean down in these holes here. Make sure that the oil is cleaned out of those. I removed the valve covers and reset the push rods. This one, both of the push rods came off when I removed the cam, so I put the push rods on, and one of the push rods came off of this one. So I set my valve lash to what I call, on the intake, I call it a tight 5/1000, and on the exhaust I call it a loose 5/1000. It's just kind of a feel. So I'm going to get some Q-tips and go down into here with some lacquer thinner and kind of clean these threads so that I get a good torque on these. As the blue Loctite is going to do no good with that WD-40 down in these thread holes. So I want to make sure that I get a good Okay, need some more Q-tips. Okay, sump is reinstalled, pump is reinstalled. The most difficult part of this is getting this on without the seal rolling. But you can get it. Torqued these all down according to pattern to 200 inch-pounds. Set my governor and adjusted it. So this thing is ready to be flipped over. I do want to adjust. I want something to do with this. I'm either just going to keep this the way it is and seal these threads, take this out, put some pipes, Teflon tape around it and put it back in. It's probably what I'm just going to do. So we've got the sump done, sealed, torqued. I used blue Loctite on the threads. I washed the bolts and cleaned the threads. We set the valve lash on both of the valves. This can go now. Once I'm going to take care of this, and then this is going back on the tractor. Well, it's starting to look like a tractor again. I've got the 4 engine mount bolts just kind of started. I got a couple of them a little more than started. But so it's kind of secure. I got the muffler loosely tacked onto here. These are not tightened down. I had to remove this again because when I was spinning the engine, this one needed to be readjusted. I'm thinking I'm going to take this off and readjust this too, and I want to wipe off the seal because the gasket was good on there, and I'm reusing it, but I want to make sure I wipe it off, and I want to make sure that these, I just want to check the valves one more time. Yeah, but that's looking good. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stop for now. Wait on that transaxle. I got to get that thing rebuilt. And I'll be able to get under here and tighten this motor down. I just don't want to mess with that right now. It's safe, it's secure for the time being. Now I got the carburetor assembly off of the engine and just getting ready to disassemble it to put a kit in it. Is one of the things that this tractor had going on, even though the engine run great, it was full of gasoline in the crankcase. So, and I have since drained all that, cleaned that all out. So we're going to rebuild this, put a kit in it, make sure it's not leaking. That's going to have to be a wrench, I believe. Yeah, of course I got my knuckles. This thing's filthy. Absolutely filthy. Dust, grime. (7/16) are the size of these nuts. Okay. Carefully get this crap off of here. These look like they are strangely threaded into this. It looks like I might have to double nut this and then reverse it out of here, because it looks as if these are retained through those nuts. So I may have to double nut this here and remove them. We'll try that. Just put 2 of the nuts together and try turning it out. Well, I need to uno más. Okay, yeah. This bar is in here. I'm going to document this. This linkage, you see how it bends off to the left? If I put it in the reverse way, it also bends off to the left. So this can be put in either way. Just in case I need to know that. Okay. So this will all be cleaned up well. This linkage here is like a... I'll probably just keep this one on here because it's kind of strange how it's linked around this. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that as it is. There's your carburetor. So we'll go through this, clean it out, put a kit in it. And I want to keep all of my bolts and whatnot together. And the mounting hardware all together, because this stuff's all going to get washed. Okay. Okay, the thing looks pretty clean, but it smells pretty bad. That's some pretty bad gas. Okay. Get a screwdriver to get those out. Actually just change this bit from a number 2 to a number 1. Should be good. Two little jets came out. They're just sitting up top. Let's get the top off. What the fuck? Those are number 1 screws as well, it looks like. Looks like this other one I'm going to have to use a flathead bit. So we'll use a flathead bit. There we go. those nubs. These nubs go up towards the inlet on this. The little metal eyelids, if you will, go to the bottom. Okay. We got this little, I need my tweezers to get this little gasket out of here. And I want to work this gasket out because when this goes in my cleaner, I don't want the rubber gaskets in the thing. So I'm going to get my set of tweezers. I might have them over here someplace. Just going to grab this. Got that guy. And I'd like to pick that out. And I do want to save that just in case. Okay. Now I don't know what this is all about. This O-ring is very weird looking to me. This wing was on that, and it looks like this. Now this goes into that. See, like this. So was that O-ring? And it's hard as can be too. That thing doesn't look like it was proper for this. I don't know, that's weird. The backfire valve is free. It's not locked up. It should be okay. I can see where you're supposed to get a wrench in there, but my wrenches are too wide. Might have to grind one down. I don't know. Kind of want to get that off of there. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, I ground down my 13mm wrench, because I wanted to remove this, and really this was a waste of time, but I will replace the little gasket that is underneath this thing. So that is good to remove this. There is a gasket underneath this, and I will replace that. But I kind of wanted, I put the battery in this thing kind of loosely, as I wanted to test this, and you can see as I turn on the key, it does work. Turn on the key and it does that. Okay, so that does work, and I'll put a new gasket seal underneath it, put it back together. I bet you the reason why this thing was leaking through the carburetor so bad was this gasket that was on the bottom of this. It looks like to me somebody removed the bowl at some point, and when they put it back together, that this just got, I don't even know. This might not even be the right gasket or the right O-ring. I don't know. So anyway, I'll go ahead and continue on with cleaning this. I wanted to verify that this does work, and it does work. And we'll put the new gasket that comes in the kit, we'll put that on there, reseal it, and put it back together. Okay, I got the carb body all cleaned up. I do not need to put this through the sonic cleaner because it is very clean and all the passages are good. So I just need to clean up some other parts, and I got my rebuild kit we'll put in it, and it should be good to go. I kind of do want to sonically clean some of the hardware. Just clean up the hardware really quick. And the bowl maybe. And these plastic pieces possibly. Yeah, just clean up some of this stuff. And that'll be good. Maybe I'll just soak this in some hot water and simple green. That should be fine. I don't really think I need to clean this thing in the sonic cleaner at all. And I actually cleaned the intake. These two pieces right here I cleaned just with a brush. They were so greasy and nasty. I used some gasoline to clean this stuff. So gasoline, then rinsed it with water really good. So that stuff is clean. The car body is good and clean. I'll clean the other stuff and then we'll put it back together. I'm back over here at the microscope looking at these little jets, and one of them is marked 111. That goes to the left side of the carburetor. And the other one is marked 114, and that goes to the right side of the carburetor. Now on the carburetor body itself, on the front of it, it will say left side and right. There's an L and an R, and obviously for left and right. And that right side is the 114, the left side is the 111. I got really lucky that I didn't lose these. Remember, they just kind of fell out of that little fuel tube. And looking at these under the microscope, the O-ring, this one's cracked. This O-ring is actually, I wish you could see this. Let me see if I don't think I'll be able to get in on that very good. Can you see that crack? Yeah, these things are like flat. They don't even look like O-rings. These things are toast. So luckily the kit does come with new rings for these. So I'm going to replace the rings on both of these. And yeah, I don't know if you can. Yeah, that ain't gonna work, is it? Oh. Yeah, anyway, so I'll replace those, and I'll do that right over here at the microscope so I can see what I'm doing. I got fine point tweezers over here to work with. I do a lot of electronics circuit board working over here, so quite used to it. So yeah, that's what we'll do with those. Yeah, taking those O-rings off of these two jets, I mean, they just disintegrated. So yeah, after 20 years, this model is a 20-year-old tractor, and these definitely need to be replaced. Yeah, these are the two rings that come in the kit, and I have painstakingly brushed all of the old nasty O-ringage off of these jets. So now I'm just going to go ahead and install the new rings on the jets. The other one's over here. I've got them washed. I had to scrub all of that black stuff that was left over off of them. So we'll get the new rings put on and be good to go. Okay, new O-rings installed. I'll go ahead and get that plastic fuel inlet piece and kind of pop these in. The 114 is on the right, the 111 is on the left. I just took a Q-tip and dipped it in clean engine oil, and I went around and just dabbed around the outside of the O-rings on these things, because I wanted them to be oiled a little bit. Now we'll pop them into here. This goes like this. The right side is this side, left side. So 114 over here, 111 there. Okay, they are in there and they are seated flush. I just used this, the butt of this soldering cartridge, I just used that to press them down. They kind of give a little positive click, and then they're not much of a click, it's more of a feel. But they're in there, they're seated. So there you go, that part is done. The nozzle gasket. Down into here. This is the nozzle. That needs to be blown dry. So let's get the nozzle gasket. Gasket de nozzle. It just drops in there nicely. Kind of give it a little snug. Good enough. Don't need to be crazy tight. Okay, I went and got everything. Okay. And we do have a new needle in the kit. I would love to compare. I'm going to look at these needles both under the microscope and just compare new to old. Be right back. Yeah, after looking at both of the needles under the scope, I'm going to reuse the old needle, the original one, and I'm just going to keep this needle for future, so I'm not going to replace it. Okay. Let's get this gasket. It really goes on the bottom of this. Like that. Set it there. Okay, that is tightened down. And no, I am not using Loctite. They did not use Loctite originally on this. And I'm not going to use it because I want to be able to repair this again down the line. Okay, this comes up here like that. So there's a O-ring, I guess it's this one that goes around this. This is the O-ring that was kind of wrecked on the other one. The other O-ring. This is the one that was damaged. This is supposed to go like that and seal this off. It's not, it's kind of sitting up. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of sitting up. I want to try the new needle. Because I do not like how that sits up like that. It shouldn't sit like that. Yeah, this one's sitting more, it's sitting more level to down up front. This side is down slightly. That's how it should be. So I am going to use the new needle. The other one must have swollen a little bit, and I just couldn't really, can't really see it, but it's definitely, this should, I like this better. Okay. Yeah, it's on there good. Okay. Alright, I need to go get the fuel solenoid. Okay, fuel solenoid. I want to replace this gasket right here. This one's pretty toast. To the trash with you. And we're going to grab the new one. Put it down here. Nice. I'm going to have to go put this in a vise so that it can hold it while I tighten this. So I'm going to have to do that off camera, I think. I'm just going to put it in a vise so that I can get to this and tighten it up. Okay. I got that tightened up very well. This is just going to kind of press onto here. Like so. And then this nicely in the groove. And that's bringing this all down and together, and that's going to put this up against that O-ring, is what I'm gathering. So now the only way that fuel is going to get into there is when this thing clicks down. Interesting. There we go. Okay, I'm putting this back together. I got the gaskets in. This is like a sandwich of 3 gaskets. So I did the same thing putting them back together. My kit had this metal thing. So I used that. I used it just like this, just how this was. But I don't have the proper socket to put on the end of this. It's got a Torx bit on here. Torx socket. I don't have that, so I have to do this, unfortunately. Just tighten this down, and then I can kind of tighten this, and I don't even know how tight I'm supposed to. Yeah, I don't know. It's not. Didn't feel like I tightened it up very much. Okay. Here is our gasket for that. Goes like that. Boy, look at that. Look how dirty that is in there. Let's just put this on here like so. Can't really get onto it. All right, I'd say that is pretty darn good. Refurbed. So I'm going to go ahead and put in an order for those seals, gasket seals, right here. I want to put some new intake seals on it. Got my carburetor here. I got the old seals, the original seals installed. They look okay. Boy, this is nasty. I really would love to wash this thing, and I'm going to. But let's get the carburetor on there and seal it. I've cleaned the sealing area on the heads. We know this plugs into here. Kind of need to find out where in the world does the choke linkage hook to. Okay, well, that was a total brain fart on my part. You got to make sure you have the throttle link or the choke linkage connected when you put this contraption all together. I forgot to connect the choke linkage. So I got that done. Alright, let's do This one is going to take longer because you have to use a wrench to get to this one. Good enough. And I need a new clamp for my fuel. There we go, there's that. Hook up our choke linkage. Alright, that looks good. Okay, I've got the got the transaxle now on the bench, and I'm going to continue filling it. So this quart right here will make 64 ounces once it's in. And this thing holds 73, it says. Okay, camera died when I was filling the transaxle with oil. Anyway, I got filled up. And I've had this transaxle installed in this thing twice. And this is the third time I'm dropping it back out because of this damn forward and reverse bar. It is damn near impossible to get this cotter pin, this push pin installed in this when it's already installed. So the best thing to do is unhook this from up front behind the engine and install it, and then install the transaxle, and then reconnect this up front, because getting this in when you got no room and you cannot see is not fun. But I did that. I dropped it down, hooked this up, connected it back up, and then found that I neglected to put this up through here. It was hanging down here, and I have to drop it back down again, put this through here and hook it up, and then put the transaxle back on. So this has been really tedious and irritating, to be honest, but we're getting it. We will get it. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead, slide this up into here, into where it goes. I can actually hook it on where the quick pin goes. Let me see if I can get you in here. Maybe. Okay, right there is the pin. Sorry, I can't see. Right there. So what I'm going to do is hook this thing in on that pin, like so. I'm actually Now, well, it doesn't reach now, and I don't want to do that yet. So don't hook it yet. I want to get this pinned. Put this cotter pin, that push pin there is now installed, and I have this in the right spot to go in there. Now I can drop the tractor down and go ahead and hook up my hook this up and go from there. So now that I got that in there, I'll go ahead and drop this. Just kind of guide it down. You know what I do want to do? I do want to hook the belt, if I can, hook the belt around the fan. Commence dropping this thing and kind of guide it down over where it mounts. And see if I can get some bolts started. Okay. Okay. A cinder block under here because the transaxle is very top heavy, right? So I got it on jack stands, and then it's got a little cinder block there to help it along. Okay. Now that I got those, I got the transaxle, I got all those bolts started. I go ahead and lift it up. All right. We'll get the jack stands out of the way and the cement block. Oops. Okay, goodness. These two bolts go through the center support into the transaxle. Now everything can be tightened, and that will mount this thing hopefully for the last time. There we go. All right, now This thing's easy enough. It just... Okay, we got this. This guy's got to go into this. And do I have the parking brake set? Yes, I do. You want to release the parking brake. You know what I want to do too is make sure, just double check my belt, and it's exactly the way that it should be. It's in the guides. Perfect. So this just simply goes over that, and then you put a washer and cotter pin. Okay, and a cotter pin. I should have done this with this off. Would have been easier. Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to remove this. I'm going to have to remove this right here. That transmission mount's got to come off. There we go. And you can see it's so much easier to get to and mess with that off. I can actually pull it out here and mess with it. There we go. Got it. Now I just need to good enough. Okay, that cotter pin is in. Now I can put that bracket back on, and we're good. We can drop this thing down. Putting my wheels back on, I've got a healthy dose of anti-seize on there. As well as the spacer. Then the key. There we go. Got lucky. Now we have a washer and a clip. Washer and a clip. There we go. All right, if you can see right down in there, I was able to get underneath and pry that out of where it was stuck and got it connected. So that rod is connected. So we are completely connected now. We have our forward and our backward. So I really want to roll this out and power wash this engine. Really dirty down in here. I'll put a bag around this, and then just take a my pressure washer. I'm going to spray some degreaser, get this thing cleaned, and then we'll put oil in it and gasoline and do all that. I got that bagged off. I got my gunk engine degreaser. I'm just going to go to town here. Alright, I'm just going to let that sit for a while. 10 minutes. And then we'll get the power washer out. Yeah, I got the fins cleaned. That's good. That'll do. Okay, I've got it off the ground. I got the wheels chocked. Now, I actually already did this with the rod pulled out, and I did it out there. This thing dies when you get off the seat. Safety. And the battery's pretty weak, so I had to push it in here, pull my car up so that I can jump it. And I know that jumping these is not good, but I'm only going to do it this once. I will buy a new battery, and but I've got the rod set in so that this thing will build pressure, and I'm going to go ahead and do the reverse forward and purge this now. So I had the governor set incorrectly when I first fired this up, and it wanted to race, but I since fixed that. It was just a misadjustment is all. So we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and start this thing up, let it idle, and I'll go back and forth with reverse. I did that for a pretty good little bit. I'm going to take it for a little spin and see how she rolls. The engine runs great. Carburetor is well done. Got some residual oil burning off, no big deal. But yeah, it's stated in the manual that this thing takes 4 pints of oil, so I put 2 quarts in it. I put 10W30 in it. So I'm going to lower this down and take it for a spin. she runs beautiful and she drives beautiful. All right, still blowing smoke off of old oil. This thing was very, very covered in oil, but it runs perfect and it drives perfect. All right, so I gotta fix that hood pin. I just need to bang it kind of to where it'll go in good. I'm gonna have to get a new battery. And unfortunately, my dumbass never took this off, so this hanger broke. The hanger for the deck. I'm gonna have to buy a new deck hanger. Whatever. That's small potatoes compared to that. So goodness gracious, this thing is done as far as that. We'll get the deck straightened up, and this thing will be good to go. And there you have it. I've actually been riding this thing around for the last couple of days, going up and down the street, checking when I'd come in. First thing in the morning underneath. No oil leaks at all, no drips, no nothing. Works perfect in forward and reverse. Nice and clean engine. There you go. This thing is very nice. I just need to put new blades on the deck. The deck's in good shape. New blades, put it back on it, and this thing's good to go.